I have known more about my parents than probably the parents want me to know, because a lot of our kids, as soon as they come into class, they're going to tell you everything that happened in their house the night before. Good, bad, ugly, and funny. So those of us that are neurodivergent parents, we find joy in our own little tribe, because we know that there's nothing that can embarrass us after our kids turn 10. Hi, friends and family, and welcome back to another episode of Pam and the Purple Couch podcast. Today, we're going to talk about what is life like with a neurodivergent child. We have pros, we have cons only from people that aren't living it. But what if you're living it? What's it like in your household? Today, we're going to talk about what it was like in our household to grow up with a neurodivergent child. Hi, Loke.
Hi.
So you have lots of experience in this one, don't you?
Well, no, not really experience. I haven't been a parent yet. But yeah, I am the said neurodivergent son in your life right now, and sort of inspired you to make this whole ordeal.
Yep, you're my North Star. You keep me in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it.
So yeah, in terms of parenting, I don't really know yet, but...
Well, what I want you to do today is I'm going to go back some of the things that we dealt with.
Yeah.
Pros, not really cons, but challenges that ended up getting us where we're at right now, and where you're at, where you can inspire and encourage other families. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we go through everything, number one, having you as a baby was the best thing in the world. You were an awesome baby.
I don't even remember my babyhood all that
Good.
much.
Well, if you do, we need to get that
The only thing I remember
documented.
is playing Chutes and Ladders, and that's about it.
What about the stairs? You remember the stairs in the house? You were too young to remember that, but you remembered having a house with stairs.
Yes.
What about the Mouse-Catool machine?
I did remember that, how you kind of painstakingly stickered an entire room because I just liked Mickey Mouse at that time.
But what parents don't know, and we're going to talk about that. So these are some things that having a neurodivergent child end up being a little different than the average mom and dad, and here's welcome to the house, a new baby or a toddler. When Loki was less than a year old, he was already close to 2.5 feet long, and in a normal crib. We couldn't understand why his sleeping patterns were so erratic, because you as a baby slept for 3 hours, then were wide awake.
Yep.
3 hours, wide awake. And we got you up to sleeping about 4 hours. And an hour is a big difference, guys. An hour makes a life-changing difference when
I
you're...
assume parents will probably understand that.
Yes, when you're sleep deprived with a new baby, and then breastfeeding on top of it, because that takes time, and you did not latch on. I know you don't want to talk about that with a mom.
Well, yeah, I'm not even with my own mom right now.
But a
in this
lot
room.
of our neurodivergent families deal with this. They want to do the best for their child, but there are little tiny things, even at a baby, that you have to start to take notice of. So if I was to have a second child, I would be more aware of these things, because when I first had you, just like most families,
it was a first time thing.
So what do you gauge it by? But you, sleeping. By the time Loki was about, I don't know, let's think about this. I'm looking at the houses.
Yeah.
So
our houses can be defined similar to like how eras were.
Correct. So when we were at the Step House in Hedgesville, you were not even a year yet. So, because we had your 1-year birthday at that house. So by the time you were 9 months old, you were sleeping in a full-size bed on the floor. I know that sounds silly and crazy to most, but because Loki was so long, what was happening is every time he would move around in bed, kind of like his mama, one of those that your head starts at the top and then ends up at the footboard by the time you wake up. Well, he was the same way, but because he was so long, he literally was hitting his head on the crib, and then he'd wake up, then he'd scream.
Didn't you tell me I was smashing my head backwards against the crib?
Yes, that's exactly it. You weren't going up and down, but you were, as a baby does, tries to waddle through, and you couldn't turn in the crib. You couldn't move because you were so long.
I see.
So we put you on a full-size mattress on the floor. That's why we did the Mousecatool, because if he needed to be in that big of a space, but yet we didn't want to jeopardize any safety.
Yeah.
You know, what do? You can't put a headboard up because then you'd be off the ground and it would hit you. So we used the Mousecatool machine as your headboard, and we painted it on the walls for you. Mm-hmm. But that was just one little sensory thing that started before you were 1, you know? Mm-hmm. And then from there, you had that card of food. You couldn't eat anything.
Oh, yeah, no. It was, well, I was going to say, how did you breastfeed me when I was allergic to raw milk specifically?
Because breast milk is different.
Okay.
So breast milk and cow milk are completely different.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it is the casein protein. You and I both cannot break down milk protein.
Okay.
So that was your
That's
jam.
all I needed to know.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I wanted to say was that, yeah, I have the weirdest allergic reaction ever of specifically raw, what I like to call raw milk, is just anything that is liquidated milk.
Yes.
Just straight from the tap, anything simpler to that, and I will get sick.
Yep.
But ice cream, dairy products, cheese in general, I can eat.
But it builds up on you. And that's what the difference is between an allergy and an intolerance. So parents, a lot of our kids that are neurodivergent are extremely sensitive to foods. And when I say foods, especially with the media nowadays, it is not really the food itself, but it's all of the preservatives, and it's the way that we get the food. For Loki, the raw milk isn't an actual intolerance, it's an actual allergy that he has. His body doesn't process it at all. For lack of a better words for you parents, close your ears if this makes you sick. It comes back up like cottage cheese. It literally does not process in his system at all. But if you break down the protein in the milk by cooking it, or hard cheese, which has a different type of protein, he can process that. Other things build up in his system, and that's what we call an intolerance. So Loki, like some kids that have peanut allergies, doesn't go into anaphylactic shock because he's had this peanut. What happens for him is it builds up in his system, and it almost causes a morphine-like state because it causes overactive yeast in the gut to go straight to the brain. And that happens with a lot of our neurodivergent kids. Even now, at almost 20, we know when we go to certain restaurants, if you eat the bread before the meal's even done, you're already in the bathroom so you can stim.
Well, not even stimming. I think it's just like getting full, trying to process it, and then getting the energy from that, and then, being hazy-minded a little bit.
So that's a great interlude. What else does a neurodivergent kid do that's a little different than your neurotypical?
I don't know. Are you going to try to make this a segue into stimming? Because I can tell you about stimming.
I think our parents would love it. I think they would love to know.
I used to run around the room until I realized in a confined space I could still jump in a singular area. And I think you could really describe this better, but we soon prescribed that we can put jump breaks in certain areas like bathrooms and such where people don't really see it, because I rather get embarrassed when people look at me when I jump because I'm not really acting of the status quo. And I know I was going to say, oh yeah, no, you could do it in the public and like it would be yourself, but that really isn't necessarily myself per se. It's more so similar to like it's just a thing I do. And I don't want people calling me out because it's just a thing I do. It's not, I wouldn't consider, it is very unnatural. I'm not going to say stimming is a natural thing because that's just a part of being neurodivergent, and neurodivergent is just not being natural. So,
I don't know. Let's stop right there. That was a lot to unwind, okay?
Well, I mean, I don't really think it was that much.
So stimming comes in so many different forms, Loki.
Yes.
So for a lot of our neurodivergent families and loved ones, just like yourself.
You got vocal stims?
Yes, so vocal stims. Let's break it down though.
Okay.
So when we're talking about stimming, it's stereotypy. So what's happening is you may see kids that flap with little butterflies.
Physical stimming?
Yes, this physical stimming. They may also pat, they may run. It is any type of repetitive physical motion for that child. And correct me if I'm wrong, it also causes an either energy boost, meaning if the child was having a hard time staying awake, it can cause energy, but it also can cause relaxation. So if the child is stressed, if there's tension, it almost like balances the body.
It's not, well, stimming can happen for a multitude of reasons, and I don't think it really necessarily applies to me, but it's mostly just, it's sort of like a thing where you just need to like think for a moment and just like have your, if you have an idea and you're playing it in action and you get excited by that, it's like I don't know how to say it. It's like girls when they go ee or something like that, or having an excited idea or anything of the sort when you're thinking of something or something in your head or imagining something, and you just sort of need to do something in the meantime while you fidget or do something.
That's a great
I'm
word.
not done yet. I'm not done yet. Don't act like a proud parent yet. It's when you like try to do something in the meantime, may it be physical or vocal or anything of the sort.
So let's take 1 second real quick, because we talked about physical stimming.
Yes.
But he just mentioned vocal stimming. And I want to bring that to the forefront here, because a lot of our children do have physical stims, but so do our adults. Have you ever had that person that clicks the pen nonstop? Click, 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 click,
That's
click,
a
click.
fidget toy.
That's fidgeting, also stimming. Have you ever had that employee that shakes their leg constantly under the table while you're trying to have a meeting and you can feel everything? That's stimming. That's a physical stim.
Yeah, because they need to let go of energy or they're having a thought.
Correct. But there's also vocal stimming. And vocal stimming is when you have a child, and the best way is to vocalize it is they may repeat the same sound over and over again. Oh, 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 oh. That's their way of processing, just like Loki said, either thinking the idea, the thought. There are some stems, guys. I was very nice because of our production crew here, making sure I don't blow into the red when I do the sounds. That would make everyone wear headphones or put their fingers in their ear, but it's a sound associated for them, and it's a calming sound for them. It can also be when they're in high stress. We find a lot of times when we have clients that have vocal stimming, those are the ones that you'll find that repeat nursery rhymes over and over again, the ones that do sing-songs over and over again. So those are some things that you could be looking for. All right, families, we'll be right back after this special message. How are your high school students doing today? Maturity, puberty, social media? Have they found their home? Have they found their tribe? Well, at Legacy High School, our students all fit in because we are a non-traditional high school. So come down, take a tour, see what it's like to have education done right. www.legacyhighschool.com. And now, back to the Purple Couch Podcast. But we're going to shift gears because we're talking about those things that are stimming.
Yep.
There's also, and this is coming from parent to parent, and as a teacher of neurodivergent students, I can also tell you, and as a mom, you have no secrets in your household if you have a neurodivergent toddler or young elementary student, because where we were talking earlier in other episodes about how we may say things that have cushion for others that are around us.
They need the full subtext.
Correct. And
they
there's
don't read between the lines.
No, there is no read between the lines. There is no, shh, Loki, we don't talk about that right now. Why? Don't you want to talk about what I heard last night? I have known more about my parents than probably the parents want me to know, because a lot of our kids, as soon as they come into class, they're going to tell you everything that happened in their house the night before. Good, bad, ugly, and funny. So those of us that are neurodivergent parents, we find joy in our own little tribe because we know that there's nothing that can embarrass us after our kids turn 10. Because before then, everything, if you do have a vocal neurodivergent kid, it's normally public access because it takes them a lot longer to learn the nuances of filtering, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So those are some things that our neurodivergent families all experience.
Yes, I'd say that's something that, in all honesty, I don't think I even developed out of yet, because I still, if you tell me like, oh yeah, no, we don't talk about that right now, and like the main thing you really just say is because, oh, I'm the mom, and I think I kind of phased that out like
Yeah, you
once I
did.
was like, think like 8, because I kind of got tired of having to do things with no explanation.
So that's great. So let's talk about that, because that is something that is different in a neurodivergent
I
family.
was going to say because, but all right, you can continue.
I mean, it's a really great topic because families, if you look at a neurotypical household and mom or dad tell the child, I need you to go do the dishes, I need you to go clean your room, I need you to go put this away. In a household like I grew up, why do I need to do this? Because I said so. I'm the mom, I've asked you to do it, you need to go do it. That does not work in a neurodivergent home.
They would want the explanation.
And if you don't give the explanation, they will continue to
They're
go.
going to get upset about it because, like, why do you want me to do this? I'm not going to like follow through things because I'm not going to know the reasoning behind them. I'm not going to punch a person because they're bad. What did they do exactly that's bad?
Exactly. And that's a great analogy to throw on this. But moms and dads, I'm going to let you know I'm the first one. Okay, being the first one, I can tell you right now, I have lost my patience, lost my cool. I have told him, don't sass back at me. Why are you arguing with me? That went on for probably 2 years until I realized, oh my gosh, why am I fighting this? I'm losing more energy than he is. So now it's Loki. If you want to play your Discord, you have to do your chores now, because then once you go upstairs, I don't care because you got your stuff done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Loki, I need you to clean up this mess, because if you don't clean up this mess, we're going to have ants. Ants will then lead to bigger bugs. Bigger bugs lead to your mom going,
And I don't want
"Ooh."
bigger bugs.
So take just a little extra time when you're giving a directive to your child, because that can save you as the parent a whole lot of
And
headache.
it also gives the kids a reason what they should be doing, because it's like, okay, yeah, why should I take the trash out when, like why should I bother taking the trash out when I could just put it in the trash can? Because
Exactly.
they don't know that trash is going to keep building up.
Correct. So it's just explaining, taking a little bit of time to explain. Now, we've talked about some of the differences in having a neurodivergent child at home. And this one may make you blush a little.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking in preparing for today's episode, what are the advantages that I have that I see other families that they don't have?
What do you mean?
Well, Loki, we have a very unique relationship.
Yes.
You and I are able to speak freely on anything, right? So we can talk about any subject matter. We talk about it in its fullest.
Yeah, and
no shade of gray.
And we just talk it like it's a normal conversation. We don't really beat around the bush anywhere.
Correct. We don't keep secrets from each other. I know exactly where you're at all times.
Yeah, because I'll always tell you where I'm at all times before I even go there.
Exactly. So checking in with your neurodivergent child is truly the best experience ever for me as a mom, because though Loki has no filter and there's no shade of gray to him, he is very direct. He'll tell you like it is. It has inspired me. You've encouraged me, and I wish so many more adults could be this way. I think it's why I prefer to deal with my kids than I do the parents, because you get exactly what you see is what you get with you. And if you say that you like something, if you say things are great, then I know you actually like something. Things are great. I don't have to then
I'm
go,
not going
okay,
to.
do I have to overanalyze?
If I say I have a shitty, if I say I have a shitty day, then I'm having a shitty day. Oh wait, I shouldn't swear. I apologize. It's been a while. But if but like I don't sugarcoat it like any other person that says I'm having a good day just because it's nice to do.
Correct.
Because if I say I'm having a bad day to someone that asks how's your day going, like they'll probably just walk away, but I'm giving the honest answer.
Well, we've talked about that before. Here in the office, we've had people that have come up, Loki, how are you doing? And you're like, I'm doing the best I can. And the blessing is that they've now turned around to you and they're like, that is the best answer. Because if you actually look at someone and say, you know what, I'm really having a bad day, they look at you like, how dare you even say that to me? Because they want you to say, oh, everything's great, everything's wonderful, when things may not be great, things may not be wonderful.
Yeah.
And so as a society, this is where I see a shift happening, is we're looking right now at 1 in 31 kids being on the spectrum, autism spectrum. So that's not neurodivergent, because that does include attention deficit, ADD, ADHD, OCD, all the other alphabet soup.
Yes.
So for me, and it's because I'm in this environment, I look forward to a time where we don't have to worry about all these
We
little
could say
white
things
lies.
honestly and not just appeal to society values.
Exactly. Exactly, Loki. I think for me, that's the best part of having a neurodivergent child, is that we have open communication. We never have to worry about how we feel or how we're going to talk with each other. And then I see you in society making that same change.
Yeah.
And that to me is the biggest blessing in having you.
We get to have the change.
Yes. Yeah. And you have inspired me to make system changes.
Yeah, I'm the one that inspired you to make this entire thing, and I still don't think I inspire parents, but I think you inspire a lot of people to look forward and to look at your neurodivergent on the spectrum son, child, and say, you're going to do great things.
Absolutely. We don't set limits, right? I mean, and nowadays we have some huge public people that are in the public eye that are neurodivergent. You know, so where it used to be, and it still is, because when we travel to the Middle East and Asia, we still see a stigma that having a neurodivergent child or family member
Is deaf.
Correct. And it's not. It's actually awakening to a new way of life and looking at it through a different perspective. So we're at that point. I like it. It's because it jived with you. So at this point right now, we're going to give our tips and tricks to the families. I'd like to go first, and I'm going to let you send them out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like you to give out your...
Sounds good. So moms and dads, number one, like we've talked before, a diagnosis is not a death sentence, okay? Please don't look at it like that. There's so much that this child is going to do and accomplish. And in the process, this child that has been given to you is going to help you grow and become the best version of yourself. So look at it through different eyes. Look at it not as a challenge, but as a way to grow and glow. So that's my tip for parents. What about you?
I think just generally, again, I don't know anything about parenting, but I think just a general word of advice, and probably just for life in general, but just stick with it. There's nothing in life that's ever going to be like such a big trial to you that you should just give up. There's always going to be something around the corner that'll make life always worth living towards. If that be from your son, if that be from your child, if that be from your, like, from how your work is going, if that just means if you make a steady amount of progress in your life, no matter what milestone you achieve, that's motivation to continue on to the next milestone. I think that just
keep trucking it.
Keep trucking it.
Keep
basically. Yeah.
All right. So, moms, dads, caregivers, loved ones, I hope today you've enjoyed this episode. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. And until next time, from Loki and me and Pam and the Purple Couch, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you again. Bye.